Good morning, everyone. Firstly, can I say what an absolute privilege to be here speaking to you guys. Iceland, I'm pretty open about it, is one of my favorite places in the world. So any excuse to come back here and talk about it, I grab with both hands. And certainly this trip hasn't disappointed so far. I'm the co-founder of Black Tomato, luxury travel company who specialize in the provision of exceptional experiences for a discerning crowd based around the world. And what I want to talk to you today about is what we call the dream industry, which is, I think, everyone in here works in the dream industry. That is, helping our customers realize those travel dreams. So before I get into sort of more detail about the company, I'm going to share a little bit of thinking on the consumer and how Iceland sits in their thoughts. Just get a bit of background on why we exist. So like I said, we exist to help people experience and realize their travel dreams. Our belief is you can combine people's wildest imaginations with incredible natural assets and deliver these outstanding experiences. A bit of background on the company, so where we are now. So way back in 2001, myself and my two business partners hatched an idea for a travel company around a campfire in Australia. We then went off and did corporate jobs, all with a means to an end, but really got quite depressed and wanted to break out, so we launched Black Tomato in 2005. Early on, we got some great recognition. Our focus on our marketing, our product development was all about creativity. So we got known for winning Best Website Awards and just started putting ourselves on the radar of this target luxury audience. About 4 years ago, we started launching operations in the USA, realizing that a lot of our target audience are based out there, who have that need to travel, that want to travel, and perhaps there wasn't a company quite like ours in the American market. So we now have offices in New York, which is where I'm based, and we're soon to be opening on the West Coast in Los Angeles. So our growth has continued. Through both recessions, we saw double-digit growth, and I think that was really down to our focus on the audience and our real focus on quality product. Just at the end of last year, we were named Best Luxury Operator in the UK market at the British Travel Awards. And just last week, or in December, we launched a new service called Blink. And Blink is about creating temporary accommodation structures for our clients that they get to design with us, from the bath products to the bedding to the structure of this accommodation. And then we work with incredible destinations to set up these pods to give them the most unique experience they'll ever have. Basically, a blink and you'll miss it. Once you've had that experience, it gets taken down. And working with incredible places like Iceland, I should add, we get to create something truly unique. And Bloomberg, their words, not ours, named it the most exciting thing to happen in travel in 2016. So that's the company, but I just want to go back a little further to me, because I was that kid in the corner of the classroom at school and at university who just spent his whole time daydreaming. I was just looking out the window. I wasn't interested in what was being said to me, and I was exactly the same when I spent 3 years working at Ernst & Young, would you believe? And what I decided, though, was rather than spend my life dreaming and wondering what was out there and wishing something could be better, I decided to act upon it. And that's a really big part of how we think about travel. You must act upon it, and don't resign yourself to a life spent dreaming. So the business started coming together. We took a lot of travel that sort of inspired us to create Black Tomato and launch this business. And why I'm really focusing on dreams is because our belief is, it's wonderful, isn't it, when you have a dream, because everything's possible. You know, if you ever get into that state in a dream, you can start changing things, and suddenly it all happens. It's bloody wonderful, isn't it? And our view was, well, we can do that in travel, but we just couldn't see who was doing it, or who had that appetite, or that curiosity, or that hunger to really make it happen. When we started our company, our view on travel was, it was pretty sterile, what we call by the numbers. You'd look at websites, you'd look at brochures, it was long lists of destinations. It wouldn't tell you what you'd get from it. It wouldn't tell you the emotions you'd feel, they would engender within you. And we saw all these dreams that people had just being killed. It was crazy, these amazing destinations, but no one was bringing them to life or listening to what people wanted. And our view is the world does allow dreams to become reality if you want it enough. It really does. So we made it our business to realize people's dreams and inspire new ones. So how do we go about doing that? Well, I'm going to talk about 4 pillars of our business that really are the foundation upon which we built our business, and to this day are still the most relevant things to us. And hopefully from that you'll also see some learnings in terms of how they apply to the wonderful opportunities and experiences that are present here in this magnificent country. So the 4 pillars of our company are culture and the consumer, obsessive pursuit, demonstrable thought, and finally, magical lands. So let's talk about culture and consumer first. So it's all well and good saying we want to create these travel dreams and make the impossible possible, but none of that is possible unless you create the strong internal culture where people believe that this is possible. So we have a thing we call a culture of yes. We don't believe at any stage of saying no straight out the gate. It's yes, and how can we work with it? We encourage people working with us, both for our staff but our suppliers, to challenge the convention, to be tenacious in the development of interesting product. And we collect dreamers. We collect people who share that vision with us and want to create truly unique experiences. Now, that doesn't mean that we're all sat in our office just doing what I used to do, just staring out the window and doing nothing. There's a healthy dose of pragmatism attached to this dreaming. But at the same time, that combination does deliver exceptional experiences. And then it's the consumer. So you have this culture in terms of what can we do, but this culture also needs to be obsessed about understanding the consumer, understanding what makes them tick, not just when they're going away or where they want to go, but at home. Because I'm not sure about you, but for me, so much of why we travel is a manifestation of your other passions. Even if it's subconscious, people travel because they read a book and it's set somewhere, or they've just heard a new album and it was recorded in the studio somewhere, or they've just seen a new fashion line that's inspired by somewhere. And all these other passions start planting seeds in your head about destinations. So we go to the great lengths to understand what makes our consumers tick. And actually, picking up on what Tim said earlier, when we talk about our consumer, yes, it is a luxury, discerning consumer. But I'm also a person who doesn't like getting bogged down in demographics and age ranges and sort of attaching descriptors to whole portions of the market. What we talk about is an attitude. Our consumers have a spirited attitude, which is one of curiosity. They want to see new places. They want to see things in a unique way. They want to have those experiences that are particular to them. And you could be 22 thinking that, or you could be 75 thinking that. But what binds them is this attitude, this spirited approach to travel. And that's what feeds into our company in terms of helping us develop the experiences we want to provide to them. Second pillar is obsessive pursuit. I touched upon a little bit of the culture, but we go beyond that. And it's actually, we're obsessed with not giving up and finding unique things. We won't settle for second best. We will keep asking questions, and we will work with suppliers who share that view, who can come to the table with us and say, let's do something spectacular. We also want to be idealistic. Again, if we're trying to make dreams come true, why not be idealistic? Why just sit back and say, oh, it can't be done, let's forget about it? It's not how we work. We want to find people on the same wavelength as us within the company, but also within the supplier market. We encourage curiosity. And the other area that's so important is we look beyond the travel industry for inspiration. Key insight for us is our customers of everyone here, they don't judge your service, your approach, just based on how it is within the travel industry. They base it on how other industries are servicing them as well. That's how they judge quality of service, quality of product, quality of innovation. So we look outside, we say, how are retailers engaging with our customers? How are their restaurants talking to them? How are the technology companies talking to them? Are we genuinely the best when it comes to service and development of product strategy? So look to other industries for inspiration. The third pillar is demonstrable thought. And what we mean by that is we always want to show our customers that we are thinking about them. It sounds silly. Everyone says, of course we're thinking about our customers. But sometimes you need to really show that. And demonstrable thought shows these little touches, these opportunities to surprise and delight and to say, look, we've got you, we're on the same wavelength. Now, obviously, there's a huge amount we do when we're in country, particularly Iceland's a great example of sheer creative brilliance by the people we work with. But also we look at what happens before they go away and when they come back. How can we show that we're thinking? So we've done it for a while, but before they go away, they get a thing called Arts of Travel. It's our belief that good music and good literature makes a great trip. So we talk to them, what music you're into, what literature do you like? And we send it out to them just to get them inspired. It might be about the place, it might just be saying that we're thinking about you. Then back to reality. We don't ignore the fact that the business we're in brings people back down to earth with a terrible bump the first day they're back from their holiday. It's kind of crazy. We do all this great stuff, and then they basically say, I feel terrible. So when they get back from our trips, at their desk, at their home, they get this pack, which is a back to reality pack, which says, look, we know how you're thinking, we know how you're feeling. There's tons of emails, there's no food in the fridge, it's horrible. Right, we're going to ease you back into the real world a little bit more gently. So we give them a box of goodies, we just help them ease into the world. Now, it doesn't cost us much, it's just thought, but they love that. It's demonstrable thought, it's showing we care. And people pass this stuff on. They talk about that. You see it in some great hotels. I mean, a lot of hotels, my moan for years was the checkout process is just awful. And if you read a lot on this, they the thing people tend to remember from experiences is the peak experience end, which is the end of that experience. It affects their propensity to recommend that product or pass it on. So always think about what's happening at the end to show that you care. So demonstrable thought, a key pillar of the company. And finally, most importantly, is the pillar we refer to as magical lands. Now, there are some places that when this magical planet of ours was put together, were just given a leg up and said, this is just great, you're going to have a lot of fun here. And there are some of these countries that just deliver on it for us, and Iceland is clearly one of them. And these places that amaze are the lifeblood of our company. But it's not just about the natural assets, it's about what we call heady combinations. Where you have these wonderful natural assets, but you have people with a spirit, an attitude, and approach to really maximize the most of those assets, to work on bringing them to life and bringing experiences to life with customers that are truly unique and stand them apart. And it genuinely fuels the creation of wonders for our audience, and it does realize people's dreams. So magical lands is something we're obsessed with. We're constantly looking for it, but constantly want to work with those that we really, really admire. So let's look to Iceland. Iceland is a definitive part of our company's history. Probably a few months into us starting the business, somehow we managed to blag the editor of Men's Health in London to come on a press trip with us to Iceland. I'm not sure how or why, but he said, yeah. And so we came. It was the first time we'd come, and it was all about this experience with the guys who started Black Tomato, yada, yada. And we came, and it just blew our minds. We had this wonderful set of days here, and we hiked, we snowmobiled, we dived, we saw wonders, we partied, we just got into the environment. Everything about Iceland was just magical, and it stuck with us. And this was at the stage when we were creating these pillars, and we said these magical lands, it's Iceland. I mean, that is if you put it in our dictionary, what is magical land? We put Iceland beside it. So constantly, we look to work. Constantly, Iceland just keeps lifting the quality of experiences out there. And it's no surprise why Iceland is one of our top destinations for clients around the world for their experiences. And the other part is we talk about this universal set of beliefs here, by the people here, who convey and agree that there's possibility at every corner. There's the opportunity to create, do new things, be relentless, not settle for second best. And that's why Iceland has been such a key part of our business's growth and journey to date. What else does Iceland do? It prompts reactions. I can go anywhere in the world, and I mention Iceland, and you either get a massive smile, and like, oh my God, it's Iceland, and these are from people who've been there, and already planning to go back, or you get a, yeah, I know, I've got to get there. This sort of intrigued emotion of why have I not been there? Because it ticks these dream boxes that we talk about. The other beauty of it is that consumers see it in multiple guises. The opportunity to have travel of different styles here is just immense. It's immense. I don't know anywhere in the world that delivers that range like Iceland. We talk about people coming here for romance, for family time, for adventure, with groups of friends. I've been here for all four of those. And it constantly pays back on these areas. And again, it's the sheer creativity of the experience. Yes, we know there are the iconic places that everyone must see, but also it's the ability to really get off the beaten track and find unique ways of seeing the country where people can just feel like, this is my moment, this is my experience that no one else has had, that makes it very special. The common thread we always talk about Iceland in is it's spiritually uplifting and it's heartwarming. Spiritually uplifting and heartwarming. There's no truer descriptions for Iceland than that for our company and for our customers. And then we talk about the potential. I mean, Iceland's growing so quickly, and it kind of seems strange to be talking about potential because it's doing so damn well. But I just want to share a few more thoughts on where it could go to, or things to recognize in your own thinking about the provision of your services or how you work with your clients. Yes, it is on the radar. It's more than on the radar. It captivates, it intrigues, pulls people back. We have a huge amount of repeat business coming into Iceland for people who've already been. And I think this needs to be celebrated. And I think you've got to recognize the scope of what can be done here. There's a huge amount already, but there's scope to do more. I've had some great conversation over the last few days about new parts of the country that want to be explored. Yes, some challenges for getting people there, but what can be done? And again, it's these brilliantly creative conversations like, what can we do? How can we do that? Yeah, why not? Let's try it. And the scope of being able to do that allows Iceland to stand apart. Believe me, there are so many destinations around the world who would give anything to be Iceland. And there's so many destinations around the world that work who say all the things that Iceland stands for, but can't deliver on it. You know, it's marketing spiel. Yeah, we're unique. Yeah, we can do this stuff. And you dig into it, it doesn't happen. And whether that's because of the limitation of these countries in terms of their natural assets, or also the companies and service suppliers that are working there. So Iceland has this scope to own the uniqueness of proposition and be defined by its breadth of wonder, truly. So let's talk about our consumer a little bit more. What are the opportunities? I think whenever we look at our consumer, we spend a lot of time about thinking about what makes them tick. Again, I go back to sort of 11, 12 years ago when we thought travel was sterile and by the numbers. People would just slap up a country description and expect people to come. It doesn't work that way with this customer. So you need to understand what's driving their decision-making process. So for our consumer, they're looking for the unique. They are looking for service of an exceptional quality. Again, it goes back to how they're serviced by other industries. They want their travel provider to service them as well as their tailor or their art dealer or their car supplier. They're expecting the very, very best. So service and uniqueness. What matters to them? They want to own moments. They want to own moments that only they will have, that they're not going to be usurped by when the next time they have dinner and said, oh, I did this, and someone says, yeah, me too, did you go there? And they lie and say, yeah, I did, but really hate it because they didn't. They want to own these moments, these unique opportunities to explore a country. What to be aware of? The cookie-cutter approach to travel, just one size fits all. These people don't want a one size fits all. Now, you can be creative with how you work, how people see places that many people have seen, but it's what you wrap around it. It's how you make them feel. It's the demonstrable thought. It's the opportunity to get to new experiences. It's that obsessive pursuit of experiences that will stand you apart and allow you to engage with this consumer. And you adopt their mindset. Like I said, you think about their lives at home. How do they operate on a day-to-day basis? What's busy? What pisses them off? Know all that and apply that to how you develop your travel. But you need to be mindful, because this audience's view on travel and where they want to go is changing all the time. So even if you get one thing right and you land that, don't rest on your laurels. Never assume that that's enough. Never accept that that's the best it can be. It's a very tough audience, but it's incredibly rewarding, because when these guys like you and they like places, they pass it on, they share, they recommend, and these networks of people are so influenced by their own contemporaries. It's a very interesting audience. It's a very fluid audience. It's defined by that spirited attitude, but know them at home as well as away, and you're in a right position to really make the most from this very lucrative, I should add also, audience. So I just want to conclude with talking about Iceland. And we talk about Iceland in our company as it being a gift. It is a gift for us to work with. It's a truly, true gift for our customers. And also, it's a gift for you. It's just an amazing place to work with. Yes, I accept the challenges that are happening at the moment, and Tim touched upon some of these, the environmental challenges. How do you cope with being so damn popular? How do you continue to offer these great experiences, but be mindful of the medium to long-term opportunities not being eroded by the sheer load of people coming in? How, for the luxury market, can you allow them to still feel unique, give them those ownable moments, allow them to go back and say, that was just for me, that experience, that my dream was realized because it was just mine. The natural assets of the country, the people here, the spirit of innovation, it all comes together, and that spirit holds strong through everyone and connects all of our consumers to this place forever. Once they've been, they talk about it forever. And most selfishly, I should add, it makes the job of this daydreamer very, very easy. It's a joy to work with Iceland. It's a joy to be here. And sad as it is to be leaving in a couple of hours back to New York, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm excited to see how Iceland develops. I'm excited to see how our company continues to work with all the brilliant people here. And I look forward to the journey and more dreams being realized. Thanks so much.